It's Confident Computing number 858. Can browser extensions see my bank account? Hi everyone, Leo Notenboom here for Ask Leo with this week's video summary of my weekly email newsletter, Confident Computing. If you're not getting it in your email every Tuesday, go visit askleo.com/newsletter and sign up today. The featured article this week, browser extensions, we use them a lot. I have like half a dozen or a dozen installed sometimes, all providing some amount of additional features or functionality to the browser that I happen to be using at the time. The question is, of course, is that a good idea? The answer, as so many answers are, is it depends. Can my browser extensions see my bank account? Is an important article that will walk you through the kinds of things you need to consider before just blindly installing that extension. Also this week, it happens a lot. I hear about it often. You plug in an external hard drive containing a fair amount of data that you do care about, and it shows up as unformatted. My external hard drive shows as not formatted, but it has all my data, goes over the steps that you need to take to see what's going on and hopefully recover your data. I get a lot of questions about Windows 10, and they run the range from starter questions to advanced technical details. One of the questions I got this week was, if I'm a beginner, what's a good place to start? Well, it's difficult to answer for many different reasons. What's the best place to learn about Windows 10 covers my answer, and I wish I had a better one. Facebook changed again. It happens. It happens every so often. Over the past few months, the Facebook user interface, on desktop at least, has gone through a fairly major revision. And as always, when things change, some people like it, some people don't. Some people are just confused by where things used to be. They aren't there anymore. What do you do about that? Well, the answer too is not as simple as we'd like. In the case of Facebook, there are occasionally some browser extensions, to return to that topic for a moment, that might help you for a while. How do I switch back to the old Facebook layout? Covers the options you may or may not have when something as important or as major as Facebook changes. And finally, how do I reinstall Windows 10 without media? In the past, this used to be a very difficult question to answer, and I used to insist that when you get a new machine, you need to get installation media with that machine. It's no longer the case. It's actually a pretty easy problem to solve in a number of different ways. There was no TEH podcast last week. The Apple announcement got all of Gary's attention. Hopefully we'll be able to pull one together this week. In some other related, not related news, as you probably know, I play with a lot of different technologies. I've got a number of different websites going on in addition to Ask Leo. I'm hip deep in this stuff every day. So I'm not sure exactly what all I've shared with you and what all you may or may not be interested in, but I thought I'd throw out a few of the things that are going on like right now. For example, it's very possible that Ask Leo will be moving servers. Now, that should have almost zero impact on you as a site visitor, except maybe in a couple of weeks there'll be some downtime for the website. But everything should look about the same when it comes back. I'm playing with documenting that process a little bit, or at least sharing a little bit more about the behind-the-scenes pieces of it. I did one post already on the Ask Leo Twitter feed, but I'm thinking I'm going to move that to my personal @Leonot feed, just because the Twitter feed for Ask Leo is going to focus on your technology, your issues, your questions, your answers. So I'm going to move my technology and the kinds of things I'm playing with, and potentially the kinds of things I'm complaining about, to my own personal Twitter feed. Now that will also be intermixed with some other non-tech stuff, rants or comments or whatever about life going on that won't necessarily be tech related, but it'll just be me using it as an opportunity to share what I've been up to lately, hopefully on a daily basis. That one's @Leonot. That's another one that you may or may not be interested in following on Twitter. And of course, you can certainly expect on Twitter the occasional corgi picture. Another project that I started at the end of last year that I'm actually having a lot of fun with, it's turning out to be a really positive experience for me, is 7takeaways.com. That is a project I put together to incentivize myself to actually read something significant or substantial or useful every day. Now, the pragmatic reality is sometimes things get bunched up, but the idea is that every week I publish 7 specific takeaways from the material that I've been reading or encountered that week. That newsletter, because it is published as a newsletter you can subscribe to, is something that then forces me to have 7 takeaways every week. Like I said, I'm having fun with it. And as a side note, 7 Takeaways is actually one of the first sites that has already moved to new server technology, and actually got me pretty excited about it. It's a little faster, it's a little cooler, it's a little bit more geeky on the back end, but again, from the side that you see, the customer-facing side, 7 Takeaways hasn't gotten any different. It might just be a little bit faster. And I've already moved other sites that I maintain, heroicstories.org, notallnewsisbad.com, and my personal blog have all already moved to the new technology. There's one other thing I've been playing with just in the last few days that, I don't know, it's got some potential. It has some fun factor to it for now. We'll see how it ends up playing out. It's a service called Racketcom. In a way, it's kind of audio blogging, but it's also audio chat. It's a way for people to do short form audio recordings with other people elsewhere on the internet. It is purely audio. I've been using it now a couple of times to maybe just post like up to, it's a short form, so it's only 9 minutes long. It's the maximum. But I've been posting a couple of short form discussions with a friend of mine. I've posted a short form discussion of some of the questions that I see on other sites. It's something that, again, I'm playing with. Gary has been turning it into a short form discussion of some of his internet entrepreneurial experiences over the last 20 or 30 years. It's actually also a very interesting backstory and background into what Gary's been up to. So racket.com/askleo is where you'll find me. Racket.com is where you'll find a bunch of other people who are currently playing with this technology. It is, for the moment, desktop and laptop. In other words, a PC based only. It's a website thing. They are working on apps, and we'll probably see a much greater uptake as more people install and start using the Racket.com app. But for the moment, desktop only. That's where I live. It's where I spend most of my time. And it is actually, again, kind of fun. As you can tell, I'm having fun with a lot of different things. And one of the things that I want to do with the @LeoNot personal Twitter feed is kind of sort of help you come along for the ride if that's the kind of a thing you're interested in. So like I said, I'm having fun. I hope you are too. That's it for this week. Thanks as always for being a subscriber, for watching this video, and for just being around. Take care.